Hello there, thank you for joining us. I'm your host Gabe, and I'm Elevated Daily. Today we're going to go ahead and review and break down Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 1, Broken Circle. I'm a big fan of Star Trek. I don't say I'm a huge diehard fan, definitely a fan. I've watched all the series, except for Deep Space Nine. I didn't feel that one was too Trek-like as it took place in a space station. So I do hear it is one of the best in the series, and I'm looking at giving it a watch. So go ahead and stay tuned for that one. On that note, I want to go ahead and discuss the tone of this series. I'm really digging it. The vibes are very the original series, but with a hint of today's special effects, environment, and storytelling rhythms. So I'm really digging that. Uh, Character developments very true to the core of the original character, so I like that. Captain Pike is a welcome surprise, so can't go wrong there. All right, so let's go ahead and start today's episode. Before we do that, if you like, subscribe and like as well, and we'll go ahead and continue making content for you. Leave comments as well. Let me know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and if there's anything you would like to see reviewed. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into this. Before we do that, we start off with most of the crew gone. Looks like they're taking some leave. Our favorite ship is getting some nice repairs, getting that, nice polish going on there. We go ahead and see Pike in number one discussing her current situation, what they could do, and him saying he's not giving up on her and he will be there to go help. He then goes ahead and advises Spock that he's going to take some time away, and guess what? You're in charge. We see our friend Spock talking to Dr. Omega, and we hear that Spock has an increased stress symptoms, pain in the neck, sore shoulders, stiff neck, very tense. Doctor sees this as a little slightly amusing, considering Spock's Vulcan. Spock is definitely reeling from losing his emotions last year with that Gorn attack during that episode where we lost Hammer. Hasn't been able to put those feelings back in the box yet, so he's definitely feeling the effect, feeling the stress, and Doctor sees that and tells him, maybe you need to go ahead and try managing your stress. Let's try some music therapy. And we see how Spock gets his Vulcan loop. Since Vulcans already study music, perfect way to go ahead and relieve stress. Spock is all about to go ahead and tell Doctor thank you, and then we get Nurse Chapel walking in. And boom, Spock's stats go through the roof and vacates it. He's like, I gotta get out of here. Doctor kind of looks at him and smiles, looks at Nurse Chapel, and she's like, nah, it's not what you think. Doctor's like, nah, I get it. Next, we go ahead and get Aurora. She's at her comm station, going ahead and doing her thing. We get another text saying you need to go ahead and perform some maintenance, and she is not having it. I am Starfleet. This is my post. I will not leave. Let me set up another station. Dude's like, who's gonna call you? You're in dry dock anyways. And she's like, bro, let me do my job. Because you know how she is. And lucky for us, she goes ahead and comes across a message from the other Luan, who again last week went ahead and took some leave to go ahead and take, I believe, Ariana to go find her parents, the surviving girl from that Gorn attack. Same episode we lost Hammer. It's a crazy episode, by the way. If you haven't seen it, watch it. We go ahead and see Spock here trying to go ahead and talk to Admiral April. Hey, we received a message from Luan. She's trustworthy. I believe her. April's like, nah, not having that. She's in a bad area. She left on her own. She's in an area where there is Klingons, and right now we're on a stalemate with the Klingons. Don't really want to go ahead and push too hard. Klingon Wars just ended. You would have known that, Spock, but you were on Enterprise, and you guys didn't take place in that. So with that, we see Spock's not getting any help. He's not going to take the Enterprise. Brings the crew together. Not very Spock-like here, but he's like, one of our crew's in trouble. We need to go ahead and assist her somehow. And is anybody with me? And pretty much everyone's like, what? What are we going to do, Spock? And he's like, oh, I thought it was obvious. We're going to take the ship. Because that is the Spock thing to do. Take the ship, go GTA out in space. But they're all down with it, so they go ahead and come across, and they get some help, and they go ahead and try to simulate a coolant leak and take the ship. And And she calls them on their sabotage, like, dude, what are you doing, Spock? Don't be doing that. You can't be doing a coolant read. All right, so our engineer Pelia again, she's down to go ahead and assist Spock and the crew. She gives them some advice. She tells them, Starfleet will believe this. Go ahead and vent nanocells. Tegus is asking, should I? Could. Spock gives the order. We see our crew go. Now we find out also that the only reason why Pelia is going along with this is because she knows Spock's mom, Amanda. She's curious to see where Spock's going with this because Vulcans don't normally follow hunches. Something new about this guy. Get some new emotions with Spock, even though he's not supposed to have them. But we see what leads him to greatness later on. We get Spock saying his thing. That is great. I want the ship to go now. The barely controlled excitement that you see is classic. It's hysterical. It shows Spock as you haven't seen him before, just enjoying himself, relishing it. As much as a Vulcan can, I suppose. I enjoyed the scene. It made me laugh and chuckle out loud. Want to go ahead and note here that I really, really enjoy the fact that we went ahead and retconned the Klingons. Did not like the way they looked in Discovery. The Klingons were funky looking, albino, and just gnarly looking. I didn't like it. I am so happy that we went back to the original movie design. I enjoy the Klingons how they should be, Worf style. So thank you for that production. Really glad you listened to us and went back to that. Thank you. Meanwhile, we get Luan having a drinking game with some Klingon, putting it back. Looks like it's a nod to Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. What is it? Karen Allen's character, Marion Ravenwood, when she's in her bar, knocking back, drinking against that Nepalese character. I don't even remember if he even had a name, but she's putting it away and she drinks it and passes out. And same thing happens here. She ends up putting it back, and Klingon can't hang. She wins. So I like that nod right there. Then we go ahead and we see that she's making moves of other Klingons, trying to go ahead and put some things together, see if she can gain some evidence. She notices Dr. Mbenga and goes ahead and walks over to the chapel. To Spock. She walks over to Spock. Luan tells the crew that there seems to be some ex-Federation and some Klingon factions that are not happy that the Klingon War is over, and they want to go ahead and use some Federation tech that they've stolen to go ahead and reignite the war. She's not really sure how. She's trying to gather that information, so that's what the meetup was about. We find out that Dr. Mbenga and Chapel were not on board the Enterprise when all this was going down. If you recall, during Discovery, they weren't aboard the Enterprise, so they were definitely doing service, and they got to experience firsthand the horror of war, and they are not happy that there is profiteering taking place. They're not even able to help and heal 5 people before they are kidnapped by our war thugs. We see Spock and crew shadowing Luan, and they're trying to go ahead and tell her and see if they can gather some more evidence. And Luan meets these Klingons, and the Klingons see her size, and they're like, "You can just jack her. Let's do this." She ain't having that. She pulls out a detonator. Forgot the name of it, but it's very reminiscent of Star Wars, Princess Leia pulling out that thermal detonator and Jabba's palace. Love the callbacks that the director's using to some strong female characters. Dig it. She goes back to her crew and lets them know, we don't have any evidence yet, but we've also lost signal of, Dr. and Nurse Chapel. We see Nurse Chapel and Dr. Mbenga are brought to, looks like an underground cave. The doctor says that he's seen huge caves like this having to do with dilithium mining. We go ahead and see that there is a starship, a Federation starship nonetheless, being constructed in this mine. So we get a pretty good idea of the extent of tech that has been stolen from the Federation by the Klingon and ex-Federation groups. So there is definitely some danger of war breaking out. The doctor and Nurse Chapel are being forced to go ahead and heal some patients. Damaged workers somehow injured during the construction of this ship. Pretty sure there's not any kind of OSHA going on there, so no regulations or anything like that, I'm sure. But during the talk, Klingon's talking crap to Dr. Mbenga, just trying to cut him down. And Dr. Mbenga's like, yeah, whatever, dude. I've served in the war. I understand. Klingon's like, yeah, whatever. And the doctor tells him there was so much blood in the air, the rain turned red. No, I don't ever want to experience that. Thank you. Shut that Klingon up, though. All right, don't forget, if you're liking this, comment, like, and subscribe. We get Mbenga and Chapel discussing the fact that there's no way they can go ahead and, let these guys take off and complete their plot. So then Mbenga pulls out this venom. I'm gonna call it Batman venom because it's this green liquid. He pulls out this Batman venom and just injects each other, and they just go on this beatdown spree. Just violence galore. It is awesome. Just the amount of chaos that these two cause. And we finally see the Doctor and Nurse Chapel get to the elevator, and he gets Klingon, and he is just beating the living crap out of him. Doctor's just going savage. Nurse Chapel's like, can't get anything out of him, if he's dead. Doctor lets up, and the Klingon spills the beans, tells him how many guns, how many people, how many security detail, fully up in the bridge. Doctor's like, all right, I can't go there. You need to get a transponder. Klingon's like, I won't ever tell you. And he just spills the beans as soon as he sees the Doctor's face, and the Doctor takes a step towards him. Deck 13, my friend. Doctor knocks him out, and they are off. So the ship starts to take off, and while the Doctor is fixing the transponder, tells Nurse I need some time, and Nurse Chapel's like, I'll give you some time. And we get to see Nurse Chapel go off, and she is just beating down fools. Takes on like 4 or 5 dudes, buys Doctor the time. They go ahead and reprogram what need. And I mean, dude, she's like completely unhinged when she fights as well. Her and the Doctor are quite formidable. After they fix the transponder, Nurse Chapel tells them, I think this juice is starting to wear off. And they go ahead and just continue on with the ending of their old boy-esque hallway scene where they just beat down everybody in their way. And they just steamroll, And then Nurse Chapel gets, taken by 2 dudes. She gets overpowered by 2 guys. And Doctor, after he beats up his group, starts walking towards them, and like 5 other dudes walk by. He just levels those 5. And while he's leveling them, we see, the nurse just beat down her 2 captives as well. They don't even stand a chance. Batman and Robin here. So now our heroes are running from our captors because, they're definitely getting outnumbered now, and they trap themselves between the airlock and the guards, and they only have 1 evac suit between the both of them. And on the Enterprise, we go ahead and see that they are hiding in some space debris. And we also see that Ortega's served on another ship, apparently, during the Klingon War, because she knows how to hide in the space debris from the Klingons. As it's not her first rodeo either, she says. We get Luan letting Spock know that she is unable to locate the Doctor and Nurse, and then, bam, out explodes a Crossfield-class starship. Transponder's a little wonky, we hear, but it is still a Federation ship. Spock, seeing the ship, goes ahead and puts the false flag operation together because he's Spock. He doesn't take the genius, Spock, and decides, we got to follow that ship. Aurora locates a transponder signal that's slightly off from the new ship. I think it's doing Morse code too, and Spock asks what it says, and Aurora advises that it says to destroy the ship. Now, Spock has the Enterprise chase down the ship because he is not about to blow up the ship yet. His friend's on there. And not only is his friend on there, but Nurse Chapel is on there. Whole different kind of emotion there. So the Doctor and Nurse Chapel put on, they don't even put on anything, but they get the spacesuit with the beacon and decide they can survive a few minutes out in space. And Spock needs to blow the ship up, so they need to go ahead and hope for the best. Spock conflicted. You can just see the emotion on his face. He is devastated with the choice he has to make. I mean, we don't see this emotion from Spock until he loses Kirk, but we know it's there. And he's just, yeah, he's kind of frozen, but he gives the order, and it breaks him. I really enjoyed the emotion right there. It broke Spock, but he did it. He did his duty. And, not even a couple moments pass by, and we see that he is just, again, he's falling apart. He gave the order to obliterate the ship, to kill his friends, to kill Chapel. His face says it all. And we get that EV suit transponder being. And he says lock onto it immediately. Boom, they beam him aboard. We see that Nurse Chapel is on the edge. Spock makes eye contact with Dr. Mbenga, sees he's okay, looks at Nurse. Nurse's eyes are closed, jumps on top of her and tries to resuscitate her immediately. He is freaking out. You will not die. You will not die. You will not die. Boom. She comes alive. He's like, yeah, it's all good. And he gets up and he walks away. All's well. But he is broken. We see the Klingons are not very happy here with what just took place. They are a little bit upset with Spock, asking him what the deal was. Spock's like, dude, no harm, no foul. It was our ship. It was our mess. We blew it up. Let's go drinking. Klingon's like, what? A Vulcan that drinks blood wine? Spock's like, yeah, let's do this. Cut down to the planet, and lo and behold, our man Spock is putting away the blood wine. And the Klingons couldn't be more satisfied with the fact that this Vulcan does not act like a Vulcan. We get confirmation from Pelia that she is a Lantanite. Klingons want to have some more drink with the Vulcan, so he puts it away, regretting that the next day when he has to go ahead and confront Admiral April again. Admiral's not happy with him, but understands the situation and gives Spock a slap on the wrist because he's Spock. Later, we see Spock when he's talking to Dr. Mbenga about everything, that he had no words to convey his feelings and his emotions. And the doctor gets that, and he leaves Spock to it, and I respect that. And we see Spock going back and playing his lute to go ahead and help deal those emotions, and we see why Spock has that lute now and why it's so powerful for him. We get back to Command, and we see here that Command let off one of their best officers off the hook because the Gorn are coming. There is an impending threat. We also get a little message at the end of this for Nichelle Nichols, the original Aurora. Can't say enough. I grew up watching her in the original series and in all the movies, and I just loved her. Never heard anything bad about her, and she will be missed. But I am thankful, and we're all thankful that she gave us this character. So thank you, Nichelle, and you will be missed. All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking through us for that review. Again, I'm Gabe. I'm Elevated Daily, your host. All right, so what y'all think of that episode? I really enjoyed it. I like the character development they had with Spock. I like seeing his emotions. I like seeing, the caring he has for Chapel. And it goes to show why he is so drawn to Kirk later on in his life. He can't frame any of his emotion. He can't express any of it in a way that is, Vulcan worthy. But he gets hooked up through fate with this dude who is a trouble magnet, an adventure magnet, and just he gets to experience all the things that humans do because of this guy. This guy knows that his friend can't do it, and he takes him along for the ride, and together they just make an unstoppable combo. And I mean, Spock, Kirk, and McCoy. I mean, the dynamic, I don't want to say dynamic because they're not two. The terrific trio. So Until next time, we'll go ahead and call it a day here. I am Gabe again, your host at Elevated Daily. Please go ahead and leave comments and like and subscribe if you'd like to see us make more content. Go ahead and leave some notes, leave comments as well. Let us know what you like about the show, what's working, what you like about Strange New Worlds as well, not just our show, Strange New Worlds. Please comment on the show. I want to hear what you have to say, what you're thinking of it as well. Also, what you'd like to hear us do a review on. All right. Well, until next time, stay safe out there. Again, I am Gabe, and I'm Elevated Daily. Stay safe.